Hello, I'm Gaurav Sharma from Hitbullseye.com and welcome to this lecture in which we shall cover Indian constitutional bodies. Our constitution has certain articles which provide the establishment of certain bodies so as to cater to the functioning of the proper government. For example, Union Public Service Commission, there are state public service commissions, Comptroller and Auditor General, the Chief Election Commission, the Office of Chief Election Commission. These are certain bodies which the Constitution provides for. So let's begin with the Election Commission. Article 324 caters to the Election Commission of India. The composition of Election Commission of India is that there shall be one election Chief Election Commissioner and two election commissioners to assist the CEC. Now, before 1993, there was only one Chief Election Commissioner who was enshrined with the power of conducting elections. But from 1993, there was an amendment to the Constitution, the 61st Constitutional Amendment, in which the age of voting age was reduced from 21 to 18 so as to help the Election Commission to conduct elections for the larger number of voters. There were two election commissioners added and so on since from 1993 the total number of members are 3. The term is 6 years or till they attain an age of 65 years. Now obviously there is a provision of independence to them. The election commission is provided a security of tenure, that is, he can only be removed in a manner and on the same grounds as a judge of Supreme Court. And of course, no other commission cannot be removed except without the recommendation of Chief Election Commission. Now, what are the powers and the duties of the CEC? Primarily, control the elections of Parliament, state legislatures, and the office of President and Vice President. He is also responsible for preparation of electoral rolls. He is also responsible for notifying dates of elections, when the elections will be conducted, and how many phases it shall be conducted. And entire schedule is also with the Election Commission. He also determines the code of conduct. And of course, along with these powers, he has also certain advisory powers. That is, if there is if there is state emergency in any state, then the president shall seek the advice of Chief Election Commissioner, and he shall give a certificate that whether the elections can be conducted in that state or not, and only after the recommendation of CEC can the state emergency be continued in that state. Otherwise, elections have to be conducted. Further, Chief Election Commissioner is concerned with the elections of Parliament, state legislatures, that is MLA, and the office of President and Vice President. But on the other hand, the urban local bodies, municipalities and panchayats, the elections are conducted by State Election Commission. They were added in 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution. And the composition, the terms are all decided by the state legislatures of those states. Now, another important constitution body is Union Public Service Commission. Union Public Service Commission is covered under Articles 315 to 323. Basically, Union Public Commission composes of 9 to 11 members, and their term is 6 years or until they attain an age of 65 years, after which they retire. They are all appointed by the president, and they can only be removed by the president, but in a certain manner. The grounds are if they are adjudged insolvent, if they engage in public employment outside the duties of his office, or infirmity of mind or body. The important aspect is if any member of a Union Public Service Commission is going to be removed, the president first has to refer the case to Supreme Court, which again inquires into this case, and after investigating all the charges, if Supreme Court upholds these charges, it is only then that the member of the UPSC can be removed. The basic functions of UPSC are that they conduct exams for appointments to All India services, central services or allied services, and other public services. Now, All India services like Indian Administrative Services (IAS), Indian Police Services, Indian Forest Services. These are the three All India services, and other central and allied services like Indian Revenue Services, Indian Foreign Services. So UPSC is responsible for conduct and recruitment of all such exams at the central level. Now, as we have the Union Public Service Commission at the for the central services, for state services we have state public service commissions. The composition is at the discretion of the governor. The appointment is also done by the governor. The term as such is they hold the post for 6 years or till the age of 62 years. Now, of course, they can only be removed by the president on the similar grounds as those of UPSC. Right. So, State Public Service Commission is responsible for appointments of state services like civil services, state civil services exams, ETOs and tehsildars and so on. Further, the function is to conduct exam for appointment of services to the state. Now, this brings us to the Finance Commission. Finance Commission is established by under the Article 280. It is established after every 5 years by the President of India. The main objective is to define the financial relations between the center and the states. Finance Commission is basically entitled or empowered to provide statutory grants from the center to the states. That is devolution or distribution of tax receipts by the center with respect to the state governments. They are appointed every 5 years by the president. Now, the main duties of Finance Commission, of course, distribution of net proceeds of taxes between union and the states. The principles through which they govern the grants in aid. Now, grants in aid are also given by the center to the different states so as to emancipate and for other welfare-oriented schemes. Furthermore, measures needed to augment the consolidated fund of state to supplement the resources of panchayats and municipalities. This provision was added by the 73rd Amendment of the Constitution of India. Now, Finance Commission, as we see, is related to the financial relations between the central and the state governments, and of course any other matter which is referred to the commission by the president. These are the four major duties of Finance Commission. Now, the 14th Finance Commission, which is the latest one, had made certain recommendations. The share of states in the net proceeds to shareable central taxes should be 42%. That is, it was increased to 42%. Revenue deficit should be progressively eliminated. The fiscal deficit should again be reduced to 3% of the GDP by the year 2017 to 18. Now, of course, the target of 62% of GDP for the combined debt of center and the states. Now, moreover, the 14th Finance Commission recommended medium-term finance plan reforms, also fiscal responsibility and budget management act amendments. There were certain recommendations for also reduce the number of CSS and restore the predominance of formula based. So these are all some certain recommendations which were given by the 14th Finance Commission. Again, another important constitutional body is the National Commission for Scheduled Castes. Article 338 corresponds to this. The composition of National Commission for SCs there shall be a chairperson, there shall be a vice chairperson and 3 other members appointed by the president. Now, the tenure is not decided by the article itself, but it is on the it is by the president that the tenure is decided. Now, the functions of NCSC are to investigate and monitor all matters relating to the constitutional rights of scheduled castes, to inquire into complaints with respect to deprivation of rights and safeguards of scheduled castes. So these are the major functions which are associated with NCSC. Now similarly, there is another constitutional body which responds to scheduled tribes, the welfare of scheduled tribes. Now that is called National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. It corresponds to Article 338A. Again, there shall be a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and 3 members, all appointed by the president. And tenure is also determined by the president. Now the major functions are to investigate and monitor all the matters relating to the constitution rights of STs. That means we are always, our constitution is focused upon the welfare of SCs, NCs, and moreover the most vulnerable sections of our society. Now again, to inquire and complaints in respect to the deprivation and rights on safeguards of scheduled tribes. So again, we see that national commissions have been established by the constitution to safeguard the rights of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now one of the more important constitution bodies for our learning is the CAG, that is Comptroller and Auditor General. Now CAG is appointed by the president. Article 148 corresponds to CAG. He is appointed by the president and he holds the office for a period of 6 years or until he has attained an age of 65 years. He can only be removed on the grounds similar to those of a judge of a Supreme Court. So that means he can only be removed by a tedious process, a long process in which both the houses have to investigate the charges and pass a resolution with special majority, and only then the CAG can be removed. There are certain powers which are associated with him. He audits the accounts related to all the expenditure of Consolidated Fund of India. So any withdrawal or receipt from the by the government from the Consolidated Fund of India, he audits that, whether this transaction was good or not. He audits receipts and expenditure from central as well as states. He audits account of other authority when requested by the president or governor. That means he's not only limited towards auditing the reports and the accounts of the government of states or UTs or central government, but he can also audit other accounts of other like PSUs if he is authorized by the president or the governor of the state, of any state. And he submits 3 reports to the president, and the president causes these reports to be laid down in front of the parliament. The 3 reports are the the report on appropriation account, finance account, and report on public undertaking. So these are the 3 reports which the CAG provides or submits to the President of India. Now also Article 76 provides for an Attorney General of India, that is the advocate of the government. He is appointed by the President of India, and the tenure, as long as the government of the center remains in the office, the Attorney General stays with him. So long the tenure of Attorney General of India is synonymous with the tenure of the government of India. Now the duties of Attorney General are: he is the legal advisor to the government. He represents the government in courts cases. For example, if any citizen of India files a case against the government of India, so this Attorney General will be representing government in that case. Also, any other function and provisions confirmed to him by the Constitution or the President of India. Now, if Attorney General is present for the state government, for the central government at union level, the Advocate General is present at the state level. That means he is the legal advisor. He also represents state governments in court cases and also performs all other functions which are conferred to him by the Constitution or the governor. The appointment is again done by the governor, and the tenure again is decided by the government of that state. One of the more important things is Attorney General is the only non-MP, not member of parliament, who has the power to give speech in either of the house, whether Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So this is one of the major powers of Attorney General and Advocate General. Now let's go through a few questions that were asked in the previous years. The Election Commission of India is not concerned with the elections of which of the following? president, yes, I think this was vice president. So yes, president, vice president, panchayats and municipalities of the state. So no, election commission does not cater to these. So of course this is the answer. The attorney general holds office, as we've just read it. Attorney general is the advocate of the government. So till the government of the day lasts, attorney general remains the same. For life, no. For 6 years, no, because the length of Lok Sabha or state legislature is maximum 5 years. So this cannot be the case. During the pleasure of the president, or as long as he enjoys the confidence of the parliament. Attorney General is not an elected member, so he is not actually associated with the parliament directly. So this C is the right answer. Grants in aid of revenue to the states is recommended by the Finance Commission. Article 280. We've already done this. Interstate Council does not do. Planning Commission does not. Planning Commission and both Finance Commission are related with the devolution of resources or the distribution of sources between center and the states. Planning Commission provides with discretionary grants, but Finance Commission is related with statutory grants. So this is the difference between Planning Commission, or now which is Niti Aayog. So this is the right answer. So this brings us to the end of this lecture. In this lecture, we had studied all the constitutional bodies, major constitutional bodies which are prescribed in our constitution, how they are important, what their different functions are, how they are appointed, and how their functions affect the proper and the smooth running of the government of the state and the center. Till next time, good luck, work hard, and hit the bullseye. Thank you.